The safest place I ever found was in myself, but it took everything breaking for me to find it. If your body doesn't feel like home, this video is for you. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Mia. I'm a 20-year-old living in London. My channel is about all things health, wellness, and purpose. So today's video is going to be all about how I became my own safe space. For years, I searched for safety in friendships, in relationships, in achievements, in my appearance. But no matter how successful these external forms of validation were, I still felt unsafe because I was a stranger in my own body. This video is going to be a story all about how I became my own safe space and how I stopped outsourcing my safety, validation, and calm. So let's talk about my before. I have always been a very sensitive and emotionally intuitive person, but over the years it really had snowballed very negatively for me, just based on the relationships I had with other people and how I was treated. And because of these poor relationships with other people and my own inability to set boundaries, it left me on edge emotionally. So what this looked like for me was overthinking, worrying about how I was being perceived, people-pleasing, overextending my kindness, and I had a massive fear of abandonment. All of these symptoms, it resulted in me clinging to relationships I knew were no good for me because I was searching for safety in others. And when you outsource that safety and self-worth, you're constantly looking for external validation in others. You're not getting that genuine worth that can only come intrinsically. And what I didn't know at the time when starting my healing journey of sorts is that a lot of these actions, while they were in part caused by the relationships I had throughout my life, a lot of it actually came from me feeling unsafe in my own body. So what being unsafe in your own body feels like? It feels like being stuck in that fight or flight nervous system response. And when your nervous system is dysregulated like that, all your emotions are heightened. The smallest of triggers for me would cause gaping insecurities, massive self-doubt, and breakdowns. And with my emotions at this high and feeling so unsafe in my body, it meant that when people left my life, it felt like my world was falling apart. The stress of all of this going on in my life exhausted me, and I was completely burnt out emotionally. The mind and the body, they are so connected, and when I was struggling with these feelings of feeling unsafe in my body, it resulted in me literally having physical issues. For example, I had the worst eczema flare-up of my entire life. My skin was breaking out, my cycle was out of whack, so my hormones were obviously a mess. And then all of this just compiled into insecurity and into self-hate, which then in turn further alienated me from my own body. I would say the unease I felt in my body reached an all-time high following a really, really bad breakup. All of this caused me to reach such an emotional low that I knew it was bad for my health and that I couldn't keep going on like that anymore. And one of the hardest realizations that I ever came to was I realized I was the one who was letting these poor relationships into my life. I started to wonder to myself, if I truly cared for and respected myself, would I be here? And I knew the answer was no. I knew I had to redefine my own sense of self in order to show up in my relationships in a way that didn't feel like I had to completely give myself away for someone else. The transformation towards feeling safe in my body was not easy, but it starts with the small daily actions. For me, I started with journaling and exploring my values, things I stand for and what I believe that I deserve. Also with journaling, I let a lot of old emotions that I had been holding on to rise to the surface. And I saw how a lot of the hurt I was feeling in that given moment was a cumulative effect of years of unprocessed emotions and trauma. I realized it was up to me to work through all of that pain to protect my future self from going through the same cycle again and again. Something I also realized on my journey to becoming safe in my own body is you can't heal in the environment that hurt you. So I started distancing myself from the people who weren't right for me. I hung out in different social circles. It really gave me the courage to move on to better things and away from friendships and relationships that felt unsafe or volatile, teaching myself that I don't have to stay. And a really special thing that these new friendships taught me was what being treated well felt like within myself, how safe it made me feel in my own body. Another crucial part to my transformation was beginning to use movement as medicine instead of punishment. What this looks like for me now is I weight train for strength. I do yoga and stretching for calm and releasing emotions in my body. And I use walks and runs for processing my thoughts and feelings. To foster that feeling of safety within, it is so important to show your body that this is a safe space, that it's going to be cared for. I dedicated entire days to myself. So what this meant for me was various forms of self-care, for example, long hot baths, getting good sleep. It meant dedicating time to my hobbies and processing emotions through writing, journaling, whatever outlet I needed in the moment. I made an active effort to spend time alone and to really get to know myself. I knew that I needed to get in touch with what I liked and what I valued without anyone else's input. Because my whole life I had been a people pleaser, always carrying other people's opinions instead of my own. By being alone, the only thing I could prioritize was myself. Being single for so many years was single-handedly the best thing that ever happened to me. And so by looking after myself and redirecting all of my attention and energy back into me, I started feeling like I could rely on myself, that I would do the things I said I would do. And it is that self-trust that I'm going to look after myself that built this deep, genuine sense of confidence and safety in myself. Along this journey of transformation into feeling safe in your body, you're going to need some tools and rituals to help you along the way. Some of my best tools were breath work and self-soothing practices. Some of my favorite self-soothing practices include hugging myself or grounding exercises such as putting my feet on the grass. Another great one is just holding your heart, drinking and holding hot tea, listening to very calming music or meditative music, such as frequency music, and also just talking to yourself as a friend, or maybe talking to yourself the way a parent would talk to their child. Maybe telling yourself and telling your body, we need to be kind to ourselves today. Other tools and rituals to feel safe in your body include maybe humming or singing, as it stimulates that vagus nerve in your brain and really just calms your nervous system down. It was also really important for me to write my daily and weekly intentions to really ground myself in my values. And I would write letters to my past and future selves for forgiveness and also just to celebrate. Other important tools for me were nutrition and movement. Eating good food that was anti-inflammatory and that promoted brain health was really important for me to kind of heal my hormones after they had been out of whack for so long, definitely because of emotional stress. I think the most important tool I discovered in order to feel safe in my own body was boundaries and learning how to say no. As someone who spent their whole life never saying no, I can see in hindsight how poisonous it can be to your well-being. By learning to say no and by setting those boundaries, you are showing your body that you're going to look after it and that you're going to protect it. So I would say I'm still working on feeling safe in my own body every day, but I know I have made miles worth of progress over these past years. What being my own safe space means to me, it means freedom, peace, and strength. I can now handle big emotions without spiraling and losing my sense of self-worth. I can trust in myself to make the choices that honor my well-being. And the most precious gift it has given me is the knowing that whatever happens in the world around me, I am internally safe. And that no matter what happens, I will show up for me. If you're on this journey too, I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not broken, You're not behind. You just need to start showing yourself that you're worth being there for and being cared for. So if you want to get started on your journey in feeling safe in your body, what I would recommend is start as I did and do some journaling. What I have done for all of you watching is I have created a free worksheet on journal prompts about understanding yourself and fostering that feeling of safety within your body. The link for the worksheet will be down below and it's going to be completely free. I really hope that this video has given you a starting point to begin to create a safe space within yourself, a space no one can take away. And I would like to know, what is that one small thing that makes you feel safe within yourself? Comment it down below, subscribe if you like, and I will see you for the next one shortly. Big love. Mwah.